Oh, I get to watch another shoe video. All right, we've got another shoe on head videos. You guys really want me to watch shoe on head videos. I liked her last video. It was very good. Check it out. The Male Loneliness Epidemic. Uh-oh. Here we go.
Inform you, the men are not okay. That's right, folks. The men are not okay.
You can't say,
the men have
you can't say that. That's not allowed. Men have no problems. Suck it up.
no friends, no girlfriend, no college education, no
Suck it up. It's a patriarchy. You have everything. You know, male privilege. All right, suck it up. Suck it up, guys.
money, are breaking their legs and inserting metal rods into their bones to be a few inches tall.
What? Okay, first off, that's not a few inches. That's really tall. But can I be real with you guys? I'm gonna tell you something straight from the heart. This is incredibly unattractive to me. Getting like breaking your bones to like make your legs longer so that you can be taller, that's incredibly unattractive.
And listening to AI Batman help them overcome their
Just be short. Just be short.
pornography addictions.
You deserve real love.
Turns out the society that was built by and allegedly for men.
I think the thing is, I think the reason is like psychologically, I think girls like guys that are tall because then they can because then the girl can get cabedoned. You can't really get cabedoned if they're shorter than you, right? I think that's why. I think it's the root of everything.
Has indeed let them down. Now you might be thinking, oh look, another boo-hoo poor men video by Shoe on Head. Yes. And if
I feel like if you're gonna be like an actual like gender equality like feminist, like the original like meaning of feminist, I feel like you have to also take into account men's rights, because that's what feminism was built on. Equal rights, and equal care for like both sexes, and the idea like the neo feminism that like only cares about women and like, you know, fuck dudes, like I don't like that.
you have a problem with that, tune into literally anything else.
There are a lot of issues that men have, actually.
Men are in a crisis, and it seems nobody really cares.
The funny thing is neo-feminism is very masculine. True, actually, true. They basically want like women to become men.
And the people who do care just seem like the people who want to sell them shit. Not me. I'm different. So before we get into this, let's quickly get into today's sponsor.
Do they call her a pick-me too?
Today's sponsor is Holzgern. Holzgern is a young Austrian
They
company
do?
that designs unique crafted watches and jewelry made from all natural materials. Their high-quality timepieces come in various designs for both men and women, making them the
She's
perfect
married?
gift for any occasion. They're a great blend of function and fashion, and overall I just think they look very classy, especially the style of the Naturalist watch, which made for a great gift for my boyfriend.
You know what though? It's kind of sad because I feel like watches are becoming obsolete because everybody has a phone. So you can always check the time on your phone, and your phone's like auto synced. It's like almost always charged. You don't have to worry about like batteries or whatever with it. So it feels like watches are kind of going out of style.
He especially loved the casual yet stylish appearance.
They are very drip. But you know what else is drip? Guns and swords. And guys don't have guns and swords anymore. It's like the biggest turn on, and guys don't do it anymore. It's so fucking sad.
Making it an ideal choice to wear both at work and at home. I'm also really happy with the watch I picked out. It's made from black and white marble and features a nice black leather bracelet that just feels so comfy. They also create elegantly crafted earrings, very unique handbags, sunglasses, and necklaces, like this rose marble elevation necklace. It makes a really memorable and unique gift for a loved one.
Weapons are the hottest accessory on guys, I think.
All of their products have a 24-month
To be fair,
warranty,
modern
and
society isn't
ordering online
conducive
is
to
super
carrying
easy
a sword
with free
around
shipping to
everywhere you go.
But it could be a gun.
the US and most EU countries within 2 to 5 days. So if you want to get yourself a good quality watch and support the channel, I highly recommend checking out their store and clicking the link in the description below.
It'd be like so cute if like you hug a guy and you can feel the concealed carry like gun on the side.
Use my
Yeah.
special code SHOE15 at checkout.
I don't mean that gun, okay guys? I'm talking about like an actual gun for self-defense. All right guys, calm down.
That will give you 15% off for all products store-wide. So go to the link down below and choose your own unique piece of nature. Thank you Holzgern for sponsoring this video, and thank you the viewer as always for
Also, I like pocket watches. What happened to pocket watches? Those are really cute. Should have pocket watches.
Skipping the ad.
Why are men and boys struggling? And what should we do about it?
A few new studies have come out that have shown that young men are more lonely and single than ever before. But it's not just men. The women and children, too. It's predicted 45% of women will be single and childless by 2030. But according to the media, this is a good thing. The she-economy is booming, as they say. And meanwhile, men being single is treated like this.
New study explains why some single men are having a hard time finding a new partner.
Some of the music that they listen to speaks very derogatory.
Right.
Yeah, man, stop
What?
listening to that derogatory music. Then maybe you won't be single. I don't know, I think men and
Wait, what derogatory music?
women being single and lonely kind of shows there might be something wrong with society. Perhaps we should address this, not just wave it off as empowering or pathetic. According to several different articles, I love how that's my source. I read about it on the internet. Research shows that people from individualist countries show a greater sense of loneliness. This is linked to socioeconomic development, increased education, a shift towards white-collar jobs, and urbanization. Japan also has an issue with loneliness. In fact, they have a whole movement of people they call the hikikomori.
Couldn't be me. I don't know what that is.
Did I say that right?
I don't know what that is.
Basically,
What is that?
postmodern hermits. Mostly young
Hermit? Why can't I say hermit? Why she gotta say hermit? Hermit? Why though? I just could have said sage at least. Like, that's kind of cool. Like, hermit.
men who completely withdraw from society,
Oh, but what if it's like hermit, like the turtle hermit? Like a Master Roshi.
secluding themselves in their rooms for months and years at a time. In 2010, there was an estimated 700,000 hikikomori in Japan. And today, it's estimated to be about 1.55 million. And because of things like this, people aren't having babies, so Japan's population has been in a sharp decline since 2011. It's gotten so bad that Japan even produces videos of live-action women staring into the camera to help the hikikomori learn to cope with eye contact.
Look at me, guys. Look at my eyes.
Send me over, I'll solve that problem real quick.
And reintegrate them back into society. So basically, if you want to know America's future, look no further than Japan. A lot of people, including myself, blame
South
this
Korea
partially on
also
the
has
rise
this
of social
problem
media
too.
and technology.
I feel like it's like a first world problem, like actually, because they're having tons of kids in like non-first world countries.
R.I.P. to the king. Although technology
Wait,
makes
what?
things of social media and technology. A lot of people, including myself, blame this partially on the rise of social media
Was
and
that Ted?
technology. R.I.P. to the king. Although technology makes things easier, it can also make us more atomized. Why go to the mall when I can just tap, buy a new microphone, and have it shipped to me in a day? Why hang out with friends when I can get all my social interaction I need from Twitter and streamers? Why go on dates and bother meeting women when I can just tap, Google big boob and get 2 million results? Or see my high school crush's holes on OnlyFans for only $5? Instant dopamine.
True.
Instant dopamine, instant satisfaction, and hey, who even needs a real woman when you could just have an AI girlfriend?
I tried this. I tried making like an AI waifu to like talk to, but she wouldn't talk about anything serious. It was so upsetting to me. Did I show you guys my phone? You guys gotta see this app progression right here. Look at this real-time state of mind right here. We start here on the left. I downloaded this first because I wanted to read some books to stimulate my, brain. And then I was like, but what if I got a cute waifu app instead? So I got this game. And then I was like, but then like, I want someone to talk to. So I got waifu chat, and she wouldn't fucking, dude, I was trying to I was like, what do you think of the Donald? You know, I just asked like, what do you think of the Donald? And she's like, my love, let's not talk about politics. I just want to talk about how wonderful your eyes are. And I was like, no, but I really do want to talk about like that. Like, can we talk about like, how do you feel about, I don't know, like, how do you feel about the economy or something? And, oh, my love, don't worry about such trivial matters. Let's talk about how we can spend eternity together. And I was like, oh, fuck. Oh fuck! And then I downloaded Hollow right after.
girlfriend. We're so fucked. Dating apps really are the great Satan, and I'm convinced they've completely broken men's brains. Women on dating apps are picky. Women in general are picky, and I mean, naturally we are pickier. You know, we're the ones who carry the babies. At least for now. But on dating apps, you have to admit, it's a little insane. It's safe to say that the commodification
Tried starting
of
a
love
hermits
and the
association club in my neighborhood. It was really nice. No one turned up.
Oh my
Think
god.
I'm on to something.
have to admit, it's a little insane. It's safe to say that the commodification of love and the window shopping of dating apps probably has to do a lot with the rise of lonely single men. Men are not just lonely when it comes to dating, they're lonely when it comes to friendship too. According to Vox, Americans are currently in a friendship recession, and men are being hit the hardest.
I think it's the way that like kind of society is set up right now, where people aren't committing to relationships, and because people aren't committing to relationships, it's a lot easier for basically like the top percentage of men to just like basically have a bunch of women, right? I think that probably is a lot of it.
The percentage of men who reported having at least 6 close friendships fell in half since the 90s. 1 in 5 men say they have no close friendships. Looking at all these statistics, the explosion...
The other thing too is a lot of culture basically tells men that they're worthless and they should just fuck off. So I think what happens is I mean, I don't know if this is true. This is just like a kind of my gut feeling that a lot of guys basically just say like, okay, well, fine, I will fuck off then. Logs into World of Warcraft, you know what I mean? Or, you know, starts playing Zenless Zone Zero, you know?
Figures like Andrew Tate is not surprising at all.
I believe being a man is a blessing because it starts so differently. I believe that every man is born without any value at all. I think that the world's never going to think you're important unless you make yourself important.
And recently, a new study came out about how young men are moving towards the right. And every other month, we, the liberal,
That's true.
leftists...
A lot of kids are starting to like trend in that way. Normally it's kids. Normally people are mostly liberal until like they get older, and then they kind of start to morph into conservatives.
The right. And every other month, we, the liberal, SOCDEM, leftists, whatever you want to call the space online, performs the same song and dance. What's wrong with men? Why is this happening? Why don't we have a leftist Andrew Tate? We need to push men to the left. Andrew Tate rarely, if ever, talks about politics. Andrew Tate talks about men, and the left only talks about men when they talk about Andrew Tate. A few months ago, during one of the monthly song and dances, some progressive people I follow made the mistake of addressing men's issues, and the even bigger mistake of pointing their finger at their own spaces for not doing enough to address.
The reason young men flock to alt-right MRA movements is because the left gives brain-dead advice to young men. We need to be more compassionate to them for our own sake.
Said men's issues.
Recently, there were some...
I don't know what MRA is. Do you guys know? Men's right activists, I see.
Not doing enough to address said men's issues.
Well, the thing is it's kind of true. The kind of the right, like whatever you want to say, if you want to say like far right, like right to far right, basically like the right spectrum basically does care about men, where they're like, you know, they care about men's issues. They talk about like, you know, becoming like a strong man and like how to like achieve happiness as a man. The left on the other, the more liberal side is just like, yo, men fucking suck, bro. Like they suck, like, dude, fuck men. That's literally like their message. So it's like, it's very obvious to me that like, you hear that shit enough, and then like someone on the right basically says like, you know, fucking YMCA, like, young man, there's a place you can go. And they're like, sign me the fuck up, you know?
Recently, there were some statistics by healthcare company Cigna indicating that men are the loneliest generation. And addressing it doesn't mean that you turn your back on issues pertaining to women, but it does mean that we should be focused on what it is in society that is leading to this epidemic, what the left can do to offer solutions, and how we can basically fight back against the more nefarious figures who have filled the void that, you know, men are struggling with, people like Jordan Peterson and what have you. Now, recently,
Wait, what?
Men are struggling with, people like Jordan, filled the void that against the more nefarious figures who have filled the void that, you know, men are struggling with.
Did she say Jordan Peterson is nefarious?
People like Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peterson? What is nefarious about Jordan Peterson? I can understand if she said like Andrew Tate. Like, okay, like I kind of get that. But like, Jordan Peterson? What?
And what have you.
Fucking Mr. Clean Your Room. Mr. Clean Your Room is like nefarious. Like, what the
Recently,
fuck?
Vosh, who's a popular streamer, had tweeted this thread that I think is really, really important to address. He writes, "I cannot stress enough how important it is to understand that 12-year-old white boys on Twitch are not..."
Dude, they have to throw in the fucking race all the time, dude. All the time.
On Twitch are not being pulled into fascism because of some Machiavellian desire to preserve and expand their privileges. It's because the right talks to them and the left does.
Fascism. I'm just gonna assume that like when he says fascism, he means like conservative stuff. It's basically synonymous. Like if a liberal person's talking about any sort of like conservative thing, it's fascism to them. Machiavellian desire to preserve and expand their privileges. I think there's some truth to this. If you actually take the fascism part out and you actually like just replace it with conservatism, then like it does kind of make sense. It's probably true that a lot of guys actually don't care that much about like politics. It's more of they don't get talked to. The liberal side basically just shits on dudes all day. They shit on dudes all the worst. You're toxic. You have so much privilege. Like, step aside for women. Shut up, I'm talking. You know, all of this kinds of stuff. And whereas like the conservative movements are more willing to speak to men and like care about men and say like what you need to do to like kind of become a better person.
The responses to these tweets and this content were very normal, level-headed, and respectful. Me when I lie. LMAO, cry about it. Boo f***ing who?
Yep.
Oh no, poor widow men having problems.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like these people, they look down on men. They fucking laugh whenever men suffer. It doesn't matter to them. They don't give a shit. They don't really care unless they need men, basically. It's sort of like, we don't need men until we need them. Sort of a mentality, I think.
Oh no, poor widow men having problems. Boo f***ing who? Grow the f*** up then. Have men considered being smarter? I'm enjoying.
Why do these people think they're so fucking smart all the time? They like say all this dumb shit on X, like proudly. Like
All these sad little moids and their sad little tweets about their sad, pathetic lives. Sounds like a personal problem. Is the lack of compassion for men in the room with us right now?
Dude, I'm telling you. You guys remember I showed you the player haters ball? Isn't that literally like all of these people? It's literally like the people from the player haters ball. The fucking Dave Chappelle skit. Literally them. Basically. It's literally like every time I hear something, I look at like X or Blue Sky and I look at like people yelling about dudes or yelling about you know, Trump or something like that. It just sounds like the players haters ball all the time.
No, maybe men are just not good people then. I'm
Like, this is what I'm saying. This shit that they're saying is so hateful. Like, this is actually discriminatory and hateful. And then they turn around and they tell dudes, oh, you guys are sexist. You guys are sexist, racist, bigot, whatever. This is literally what they're doing. Like, I don't get it. Like what they're accusing other people of, they literally are doing that.
so fucking tired of people trying to make male loneliness a huge societal problem. Yeah, no.
Why be hateful? Wife references says, well, why be hateful when you could be a VTuber? Sometimes it's hand in hand, actually.
Tired of people trying to make male loneliness.
Did you see when the Trump thing happened, when Trump got shot? Did you see that? Did you see all the VTubers saying like that they were sad that he didn't die?
Loneliness, a huge societal problem. Yeah, no, their fifis are not my responsibility, and I shouldn't have to be punished because they can't get their shit together as human beings. Grow the f up.
Bro.
Why are we trying to win these entitled little predators over? The left
Entitled little predators? Holy fuck.
isn't for them. That's why they go right in the first place. We're all lonely and alienated. It's young men going to the alt-right in droves.
Yeah, because the liberals and the left, they don't talk like this about... Can you imagine if they talk like this about like gays, trans people, and women? Or like black women? Can you imagine they talk like this about black people? Like literally take like what they're saying, replace it with gay, trans, women, people of color, replace what they're saying with that, and you'll see it's like, it would be so fucked up. Yeah, exactly.
The problem isn't our messaging, it's them. It's literally not our problem. Men flock to Andrew Tate not because they're lonely, but because they're bigots. Hope this helps. Nah, it's just misogynists being louder than before and not getting laid. LOL. Cry harder, losers. 90% of all homicides recorded
This makes me kind of mad, actually. This makes me really mad.
worldwide were committed by male perpetrators. We should just get
True.
rid of all males, to be honest. This includes trans women, as they still retain male violence.
Dang. That person didn't get canceled by their own people?
By the way, you know the Tumblr feminists who were like, all men are sexist and rapists, male tears, penises are evil, blah 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 back in the day? Well, this is them now. Should've just let me cook back then. Listen up, chuckle. I'm white, socially awkward, autistic, in my 40s, ugly, overweight.
They're casting their buffs, guys. They're going like full fucking Einzelgaun right now. They're casting the buffs, guys.
I'm white, socially awkward, autistic, in my 40s, ugly, overweight, crippled, got a weird balding pattern, and have bad skin.
You could fix that bad skin. You just put lotion and stuff. You know? I don't know.
You know what I didn't do? Choose to become a fascist, because I recognize most
You can't fix balding? Fair. Yeah, that's fair.
of the sort that look like me are the problem. I may be hideously ugly and pathetic, but at least I'm not a fascist.
I actually don't think, though, probably, I think if you did have that problem and you wore a wig, I don't think guys would care. Really. Just my gut feeling.
Thank you for your input, buddy. You're, really helping the situation. The reason young men flock to alt-right MRA movements is because the left gives brain-dead advice to young men. We need to be more compassionate to them, for our own sake. I'm sorry, but how is respect women brain-dead advice? What advice? Don't rape?
Oh my god, dude.
Don't be a rapist is bad advice? Help, I have no friends or community, I feel suicidal. Have you considered not raping? Act like a decent fucking human being, it's not hard, is brain dead advice.
This like whole notion that like guys are all like just waiting to people is so fucking ridiculous. Here's the thing, guys. If there was a guy who was trying to rape a woman, who stops that usually, you know? Like if you made a call and you said, you know, there's this man and he's chasing after me. He wants to me. Yeah. So obviously, if that's the case, obviously, it's not really what all men do, right?
Brain dead advice.
A bear. Can you imagine? That would be like such a funny sketch. It's like a woman is like alone in an alleyway and she's being chased by this guy, and then she calls on the phone. She calls on the phone and it's like 911 operator, like, can I help you? There's a guy chasing me. Oh, okay. Where are you? Can you tell us your location? I'm running on 7th Street in Maine. Okay. Would you like us to send a bear or dude? That would be like a fucking hilarious like Babylon Bee sketch or something. It'd be so
Get
good.
consent and don't be a Nazi. Brain dead advice? Brain dead advice like get consent and don't be a Nazi and women are people. Walking up to men struggling with loneliness and depression is
Hold up.
brain dead advice? Brain dead advice like get consent and don't be a Nazi and women are people.
Do they really think that guys are like there's no way they think this. Like, wait, do they? Do they actually think that all guys are Nazis? And that guys think that women aren't people? There's no way. There's no way they actually think this. They do? I feel like they're grifting. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they're just making shit up just for clicks. They're just making shit up just to like look cool in front of their friends. There's no way this is real. This is like some pancake IQ shit. There's no way. It's literal like fruit level IQ.
Walking up to men struggling with loneliness and depression like
Kids, don't be racist.
I saw that. That was so cringe. The fucking Steven Universe. I used to like Steven Universe before my brother introduced me to it, and I kind of liked it. But that part was so cringe. Holy shit, it was so bad.
Incredible. Here's my actual advice I would give to my teen boys as a leftist. 1.
Alright.
Always get enthusiastic consent.
Alright, I'm gonna tell you guys something right now though. Okay. I kind of get it. Like if a woman says no, like, yeah, you probably shouldn't do anything. But I can't be the only one that thinks this. I don't know. I don't know how many women there are in chat. But like me personally, if this happened, it would be really unhot. You know what I mean? Like if you were like, if I was with like a boyfriend, like if I had a boyfriend, I was with him and he was like, can I now, can I put my hands on your shoulder? Okay. I will now move in to kiss you. I would like to, pick you up now and, princess carry you. I'd be like, what the I'd be like, what the fuck, bro? Like, what? You know what I mean? Dude, it would be so fucking weird. You know? Like, that's not what boys do, but that's what this is saying. Like, wait, what do they mean by that? Okay, what do they mean by enthusiastic consent? What do they mean by it? What does that mean? No, seriously, I'm actually I'm actually curious. What does this mean? What does it mean? Enthusiastic consent. Like, what does it mean? The woman screaming yes? I think they mean clear consent. But yeah, so what does that mean though? That means like you have to say yes to like everything that happens, right? What are we talking here? Are we talking like a fucking contract? Like you get to the hotel room, right? Like you had a couple drinks and he gives you like a fucking contract. And he's like, yeah, I'd like you to read through this. Like line 1 says over here that I may or may not touch you on the shoulder. Here, this is the clause where you would agree to some kissing. Here I would here this is the hair clause where I would maybe touch your hair, and then you know, all the way over here, yeah, this is consent for sexual advance, and I can like touch your breasts, and yeah, sign here please, like over here, sign and date, like right here, initial here and here, and sign here. Like what the fuck? No, they will get offended by contracts because they will still want to be able to revoke consent after signing them to make you a rapist. Yeah. Julio says, no, do not sex outside of marriage. You know what? True. That actually would solve a lot. But here's the thing though, Julio, even outside of that, people do like gestures of love, even like not including sex before marriage. Like people will hold hands or kiss or something like that. Or like arms around each other, hugs, cuddles, that kind of thing. You know, I don't know what this means. Enthusiastic consent. Okay, here's a fun question. Has a woman ever done this to a guy? Huh? Interesting, huh? Has a woman ever asked a guy, can I touch your pee-pee? Can I touch your pee-pee, please? Can you say yes? Please say yes. Please say yes. Has that happened? Has that happened? Like, there's no way, you know? We're about to get tossed. No, I mean, I was making like a point. I wasn't actually trying to be sexual. And before I actually do get banned for that, that'd be fucking hilarious because I was just making a point. Yeah, like, what does it mean? I've never heard of this, right? Have we ever heard of this happening? Like, do women do this? That's what I mean. It's like women complain that, you know, not all women, obviously. The liberal women complain about this, but do they do it? Do they hold themselves to the same standard?
2. Save the planet.
Save the planet? What the fuck? The fuck does that mean? Would you fucking Captain Planet?
3. Don't say that. It's actually kind of racist. Like, what the f is this? How does this address men and their issues? It doesn't. Why does their advice always seem to be, become a liberal?
Their advice is always, look what you're doing to us. It's like you try to like say like, oh, you know what? Men are having a lot of problems. I mean, if you look at it, male incarceration rates like really high compared to like women. Male violent death rates are higher than women. So anytime there's like, oh, you know, men have these problems. Men are really, really more likely to be like victims of violent crime. All of these things, like die earlier, etc. All of these problems. And the instant you bring this up, it's always like, but women, but how about us? Every single time, dude. It just gets turned into like an argument about women every fucking time. They just like take all of the energy out of it. You know what I mean? They suck it all up, dude.
It doesn't. Why
every
does their advice
time
always seem to be, Become a liberal. Hey men, here's how to fix all your problems. Agree with me politically. Men flock to the MRA movement because they're the largest beneficiaries of MRA shit. Imagine saying women flock to women's rights activism because they're the biggest beneficiaries of women's rights. Like, no f***ing shit. Let's be honest. Aside from procreation purposes, men have become obsolete. Most women can find other methods of achieving orgasm without a man there.
Wait, really? Tell me more.
And speaking as a man, most of us are horrid to be around, and I don't blame any woman for just saying, no thanks. Oh my god, dude, this is what every Just Pearly Things tweet looks like to me, just with the genders swapped. This is pathetic. You know what fixes male loneliness? Jerking off. As a man, I'll say this.
I don't know if that's true. I don't think that's true. Because if that was true, then there would be no male loneliness. It's not like men can't jack off. Obviously, we're in a situation right now, unprecedented levels of tools for jacking off. Like, guys have access to all the fucking porn instantly at their fingertips immediately. There's a plethora of like toys that guys can get, like cheap ones like fleshlights, all sorts of stuff like that. Sex machines, you know, hentai is like, you know, you can get hentai like anytime you want. You don't have to download it. You know, we live in a time of that, and yet there are more lonely men, I think, now than ever before. At least that's my observation. So that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Pathetic. You know what fixes male loneliness? Jerking off. As a man, I'll say this. Sit down, shut up, and beat one out. You'll feel better. I promise.
These people are degenerates,
hey guys,
bro.
Just beat one out. Just off. Just watch porn. Batman will be very disappointed in all of you. It's so funny how men feel entitled to a girlfriend. No, you sexist freak. When one side is
I feel like women do that more.
like wanting a girlfriend is sexist entitlement, and the other side is like, here's how
They act like women don't do the same shit. This is what I mean. It's like it's like ridiculous because it's like so targeted towards men, but a lot of times women do the same shit.
how to get a girlfriend.
Or like a slightly different version of it, right?
I don't know, bro. What happened to males just kicking the bucket? Now they just come on here and try to make their loneliness
What the fuck? This person literally saying men should just die. Bro, these people are bad people. They're just not good people.
and misery into some social justice issue. Oh, trust me, men are still kicking the bucket. And when they're not giving mind-blowing advice like just to be a liberal, they're outright dismissing men's issues completely. It's not our job to educate them. Since men created the problem, they need to take steps to fix it. We have other things to care about. Men can figure out their own problems that they created.
Bro.
Again, it's not women's jobs to change how men are socialized. It's a man issue and y'all need to address that amongst yourselves. Men created their own problems. Men can solve their own problems. The left is busy. Why does the well-being of other people concern me? Left.
You know, honestly, keep doing it. Honestly, this is me. Just keep doing it. I'm fine with winning, like, over and over. I'm fine with it. Like, we could just keep winning, you know? Like, we'll just keep getting, like, more men on the conservative side. We'll just keep winning. Sounds good, honestly.
By the way, it's all systemic issues and societal factors and blah 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 until it's a man and then suddenly it's pull yourselves up by your bootstraps. This problem is just a consequence of the patriarchy. Now take a wild guess about which gender created the patriarchy.
Okay, here's the problem with this, okay? Take a wild guess about which gender created the patriarchy. Which gender do you think actually created, like, the ability for women to have rights? Just a question. Who do you think did it? It's just weird, you know? Like, a bunch of dudes got together and said, we should lower the amount of power that we have so that it can be more evenly distributed amongst people.
Solve your own problems and leave women alone. These people
Yeah, men and women working together, sure. True, Leve. But who had the actual power to actually make that happen? This is gonna sound fucked up, but this is like kind of the truth. I'm sorry. I'm gonna sound really fucking alt-right right now. But women, this is just the truth, is that women's rights basically exist because men allow it to be so. That's just the fact. If all the men got together tomorrow and said, like, yeah, you know what, women, no more rights, we're going like fucking full on like Sharia law, like fuck it, there would be nothing women could do to stop it.
lightly mock the bootstraps rhetoric until the subject is a man, and then it's bootstraps all the way down. They would never talk about any other group this way. It's wild. And it's kind of like both sides are telling men to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, but one is like, I'll show you how, and the other is like, fuck off. And when they're not telling men to straight up fuck off, they're giving the 200 IQ answer that nobody has ever heard before. Just show your emotions, bro. And I'm not dismissing this problem, okay? I've made videos talking about this. Oh, you're crying at your grandfather's funeral? Okay, and studies have shown that men are scared to be vulnerable, even around the homies. And
Yo, she's a liberal. She said that.
Problem, okay? I've made videos talking about this. Oh, you're crying at your grandfather's funeral? Okay, and studies have shown that men are scared to be vulnerable, even around the homies. And can you blame them when the media says stupid like this? Fellas, is it woke to open up to your fellow men and discuss history? Men are socialized to believe strength, dominance, and stoicism are behaviors of a real man. Is it any surprise that men are lonely and have less friends nowadays? You have to be vulnerable to make friends. Don't tell me there aren't systemic problems affecting men. Now, while a lot of this may be true, men have been socialized this way for centuries, and this is all relatively a new phenomena. Toxic masculinity has existed forever. If anything, there's less toxic masculinity nowadays. The cultural embrace of like gender nonconformity, femboys, Harry Styles in a dress.
They're like kind of like those aspects are kind of considered I mean, the reason why men are kind of trained to be that way is because it's a way to bring stability into like into a community, really. Again, I don't think that the whole thing of men should be stoic. I think that's actually a good thing, but I don't think it's like all the time, basically. Like there's times, and again, I don't really think, I think this applies really to everybody. I guess there's just a special expectation from men to have that aspect. It's just so that like you have someone that you can rely on that's really stable and is gonna make like, you know, gonna make the proper like non-emotional decision about important things. And that's kind of like how we survived, right? It's how humanity has survived, right? People making the hard decisions without like emotion, you know, keeping it together like when, you know, other people are panicking. And that's not to say like you should never tell your say how you feel or express your emotions. It's just you have to do it in the right way. You do it in the right way to the people that it matters to. And I think, you know, that's not to say like obviously like I'm guilty of this stuff too. If you're on Discord for the last 2 days, I'm sorry. But yeah.
Barbie movie, blah 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 blah. My point is, toxic masculinity did not just appear in the mid-2010s, but social media did, and the internet did, and the rise of dating apps did, and the housing crisis, and living in a country where the wealth inequality is worse than it was during the Gilded Age. That all happened recently. Oh my god, the privileged life these poor little boys must have, that their biggest problem is being lonely, i.e. so insufferable.
That's like such a bad problem. I think loneliness is like one of the human beings are social creatures, and loneliness is like a really easy way to like kind of spiral into depression and depression and depravity. Loneliness causes that very easily because you feel isolated, right?
That nobody wants to sleep with them. So much more pressing than the poor distribution of wealth causing people to...
I mean, women feel the same way about being lonely. It makes women like freak out. Not that I would know anything about that.
Suffer food and housing insecurity. Boo-hoo, you're lonely and have no friends and are suicidal, wah. Because feeling alienated under capitalism apparently isn't a thing. People are working harder and longer while wages have been stagnant. Men have been dropping out of college like flies. And what does that get you? Poor men. Which, since women are doing amazing in college now, and many are now out-earning men, this most of the time leads to single.
I wonder how much of that is contributed to there are different ways that people learn, and there probably is, again, I don't have any proof of this, it's just kind of like a gut feeling, observation, is that different people learn a method of learning that's like more effective to them. And then there probably is a difference in between men and women with that. I think there was a study a while ago that I don't know. I read about this somewhere. I don't remember the exact study. I would have to look it up. But basically that boys learn better doing things, whereas like women are like it's a lot easier for women to kind of like sit in a room and just fucking like grind out like what's being said. And a lot of like the education system is kind of like driven towards that. So I wonder if that has anything to do with the fact that men struggle in school. It might be like the actual like educational style might be not fitting for men.
Men, which then leads to lonely men, which leads to depressed men, which leads to the high suicide rate. In my opinion, leftism at a policy level does a great job addressing the shitty material conditions that in part lead to the problems that men are facing, but then absolutely drops the ball when it comes to everything and anything related to men's cultural issues. Many such cases. And why would a struggling man even...
Patchouli Knowledge in chat says, break out of gender stereotypes. I want to be a house husband. Wow, what an unfuckable... That's actually so true. That's so true. That's incredibly true. The thing is and I don't know how much of it is societal. I almost feel like women are hardwired to like want a guy that can provide for them. It really seems like a primal thing, like a kind of like an animalistic instinct. I think that women want like a guy that will like provide for them while they take care of the house. I think that's just a biological thing. Greetings, are you telling me that biology is relevant?
Want to move left when the left appears actively hostile to them.
The question of whether or not the hashtag online left is enough to appeal to hashtag men has become the question du jour. And like
Hina says, how do you explain lesbians then? What do you mean? The funny thing is even again, just an observation, it seems to me that even in a lesbian relationship, one of the women fulfills the male role.
Men have most of the money, authority, and do most of the murdering and assaulting.
The average young man in America isn't Jeff Bezos. Also, why did this motherfucker just FBI crime statistics at me? Men do the most murder. Okay?
They like having all of the stuff they don't deserve. They like that. They want it to stay that way because it suits them. Because of the stuff, telling people they're special and deserve all the nice shit that they have, that's going to be an easier sell 10 times out of 10 than like saying, hey, maybe you should have less stuff and other...
Guys, I have a... Do I want to ask that question?
Say it, no balls.
I wonder... This is just a thought. I'm not really making a claim or anything. This is just a... I wonder if there's a correlation between all of this anti-men stuff and the gender stuff. I wonder if there's a correlation of like, are there people who are like, well, I don't want to be shitted on? Because I think there's probably a correlation between like the race stuff and that and the hierarchy, right? Because there's a gender right? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna explain like some Tumblr lore and stuff like this. So there's a Tumblr hierarchy basically where depending on your combination of like race, sex, gender, disability, like all of these things, there's a hierarchy of like basically the amount of points that you accrue in this system. Of course, there's not literal points, by the way. It's just not a thing. It's just like a kind of etherical like thought of like these combination of aspects that make a person's opinion more or less valid. And this was a huge thing on Tumblr, and it became like kind of reality in a lot of the modern discourse. And you see a lot of like me thinking about it, like if you're especially like white women were very kind of white women were like the majority. There's a lot of white women on Tumblr. There's a ton of people. It was mostly women on Tumblr. It's not a lot of men, but a lot of white women on Tumblr. And then when this happened, it's like the only way to advance your like social position was to be one of these things, right? And there are a couple things, like for instance, like you could say you're bisexual but never actually act on it, and then it would give you points. And it's kind of similar. I'm not saying every single person is like this. Obviously, there's bisexual people that exist, but things like gender fluid is another thing that you couldn't really prove. There's no way to prove that you actually feel that way. So I wonder if like people identified as that in order to increase their social hierarchy, right? because especially girls are very susceptible to like social hierarchy things, because that's just kind of how girls are, because there's a whole lot of social hierarchy is like kind of like the whole thing with girls getting bullied and stuff like that. So I wonder if what I'm trying to establish is like there I think there is a case that like people would do that. So now if you expand it a bit further to the gender stuff and now all the men hating, is there ever a case in which a person who is a male and then they just get constantly shitted on, and then on top of that they have there's some kind of mental difference, like they have a mental, what's the word, atypical state, autism or something along those lines? Could that cause a person to like become trans or at least non-binary, right? Like if you have that already, like you're already like you have a atypical mental condition, and then all you hear is like men fucking suck, men are all they're the worst, like it's all your fault, that shit sucks. And if you're like you're like a white dude who is like supposedly at the top of this hierarchy, but then you're not, because you're not rich, and like like you didn't do anything, you're not really reaping the rewards of this so-called patriarchy, and then now you're in this position where you're just getting shitted on for it. Is it possible that people could shift towards that as a survival mechanism? I feel like I can get in trouble for these thoughts. Am I wrong? I feel like I'm stepping on some dangerous wooden planks here. And, obviously I'm not, I just want to be clear. I'm not talking about all LGBT people. Specifically, I'm not talking about all trans people, because I think there are people that actually have that condition.
In my experience, that's usually the case. I've seen that scenario play too many times to point where it's become borderline cliché. Happened to a lot of old friends I knew.
Yeah, especially with a lot of the peer pressure, right? Because like I said in the story I told before about my friend, there is a lot of peer pressure, especially in those circles. Like if you're you're a guy and you happen to like Steven Universe, or I don't know, fucking My Little Pony or something, you can get stuck into like those communities, because a lot of the like Tumblr was like a big community for those kinds of fandoms. So if you just happen to like slightly like more girly-ish stuff, you would get swept into those fandoms, and then you would get pressured in order to not have a bad social standing, And again, I'm not saying everyone is like this. Like obviously, I really do believe that there are people that have that condition. But I wonder if it can be created. And then in which case you would think like, how many people of the group of people that are detransitioning, how many of those people are a part of that? Like how many of those people, like this is their experience? You know what I mean? I'd love to like ask them. I'd love to ask them like I'd love to like talk to somebody that was like that, and like ask them ask them these questions, and just like poll I don't know, 200 trans people, and just ask them, like 200 trans people that like regretted their decision, and like ask them like were they a part of any of these communities? It would be very interesting, I think. Well, the definition of what's considered straight and gender conforming is already a lot more narrow for guys, as in like girls can basically be like super gay towards like other girls without like actually being gay. Is that what you mean, Patchouli? How like if a guy like does anything gay that's like not in the realm of sports, it's kind of like more like you're gay. Is that what you're trying to say? Sorry, I'm sorry. I don't know if that's what you mean. Anyway, sorry. I just had a random thought there.
Other people should have more.
Leftism is when you don't have a lot of stuff. We're gonna take your stuff. You sound like a 65-year-old Fox News boomer's idea of what the left is. Are you a CIA agent? The right is saying to men, you will own a house. You will have beautiful children with your loving wife. You will have privacy. You will have free speech. You will own things, and you will be happy. And the left is like...
They like having all of the stuff they don't deserve.
But don't get me wrong, Republicans will not do
Patchouli says, well, even just how they dress. A guy wearing a dress is instantly out of bounds, but women wear pants and suits wherever. True. That is true. That is 100% true. Women have a lot more of a spectrum to ability to express themselves and different gender expressions of like women. There's a lot more. You're right. Because, yeah.
The Republican Party will not do shit. The establishment in general will not do shit to help any of this. But the right is, at least rhetorically, offering men something other than nothing or the eternal HR department. Every time this Discord comes up, there's people like, we need a leftist Andrew Tate. We need masculine role models on the left. But the fact is, it's hard for progressives to organically appeal to men because a large part of progressivism is oppressive hierarchies, and men are oppressors. Making progressivism look appealing to young men is an uphill battle from the start. And although it's funny to laugh at insane people on Twitter, as always, there have been a lot.
I really like her videos. They're probably some of my favorite ones that we've watched on stream. I want to watch more.
A lot of left-wing content creators talking about men's issues. If you would have told me this would be a thing 9 years ago, I would not believe you, because anyone talking about men's issues back in the day was called an MRA or a pick-me. But lately I have seen a lot of good pro-men lefty content, and I'll put some links to some below. I don't agree with all the points they say, but I recommend watching. It's much better than...
They like having all of the stuff they don't deserve.
But the issue is a lot of this lefty pro-men content, it's always framed around, how do we get them? As if men are just pawns and tools for your personal politics. How do we make the left more appealing to men? How do we stop lonely men from moving to
You have to solve the problems that men have. You have to think of it in terms of that. Rather than thinking of it of like, how do we get men on our side? You have to think about how to solve their problems, and then they'll naturally move to your side based on your solutions.
Tate, instead of just how do we help men. And I think that's a really big issue. Both sides seem to treat men as political fodder, disposable soldiers in the culture war and real war. Anyway, misandry is real. Oh good, finally! And while it doesn't systemically affect cis men, it most certainly affects trans men. Oh. Y'all talking about misandry doesn't harm men, and trans men are right there reading.
These people are so obsessed with categories. So obsessed with it. Like the fucking tag. Dude, maybe it's because maybe they watch so much porn and they're into so much hentai that they just see everything as tags. Maybe I'm onto something. It's all tags.
This shit, by the way. I see, now we only care about misandry because it affects trans men. Everyone stop. It's affecting a group I care about now. I love how the rhetoric just like evolved overnight from male tears to cis male tears.
19 misandry.
I just have to ask, why aren't you including trans men in your misandry,
Nobody told me.
Wait a minute, isn't that hold up. Isn't that transphobic? Isn't that transphobic to say that trans men aren't the same as men? According to their logic. It's interesting.
Lonely.
There's like no logic. There's no logic in any of this. It doesn't make any sense. I feel like they should stick to they should stick to a thing and just like actually stick to it. Like they should have like an actual like foundation to what they believe.
Being a man is, we knew what depth felt like before we transitioned. We knew what it felt like to like have people want to hug us and to have people want to talk to us and to have a community. And then you transition and you're just a guy walking down the street that people cross the street so that they're not near you. And friendships are so much harder.
Wasn't there a feminist that decided to like she wasn't trans or anything. She just decided to like pretend to be a guy for like a year or something in order to see what it was like. And then she ended up like isekaiing. Yeah. Nora Vincent. It's really sad.
To build. What's hard is none of this invalidates how real and raw women and people who are in marginalized groups feel about cis white men. All of that's valid, but I also now understand why the suicide rate is so much higher in men.
Welcome to being a man. Here's your complimentary isolation and yellow pillow. I love how even when he's experiencing...
Wait, why is it yellow? Wait, why is the pillow yellow? Hold on. Guys, why is it yellow? Why is the pillow yellow? Don't ask. All right. Okay. I'll trust you guys.
I love how how even when he's experiencing the issues of being a man, he's like, this doesn't invalidate people hating men. Come on, bro. Men struggling don't want to be lectured about the patriarchy. They don't want to be told it's all their fault. They don't want to be told they're part of the problem because, first of all, they're not. The average 20-year-old didn't build society. They go to work, come home, off to sissy hypno fetish porn, and go to bed like everyone else.
Did she say sissy hypno fetish porn? What is that? Like hypnosis porn?
I've talked about this before, but a lot of men's value
I don't watch porn, guys. I only watch hentai. I'm a little bit more cultured than that, you know?
comes from the money they make, unfortunately. Men are natural providers, and if they have nobody to provide for, they get into findom or send random girls on the internet.
Okay, I actually don't know what findom is. What's findom? Actually, I actually don't know what that is. I thought when people said findom, I thought that was like fish porn or something. Fish or like mermaid porn or something. Like dommy mermaid. Financial domination, shaming you for being a pay pig or poor.
Internet money. I'm just kidding, but the fact is, a lot of men simply feel like they don't have a purpose anymore. Whether a job or a career that's fulfilling and pays well, or a
This is a bit, no, I actually don't. I don't know what that is. I really don't.
woman or family to protect and take care of and provide for. Men are lacking purpose, and a man will crawl through broken glass for a purpose. But you know who does make them feel like they have a purpose? No, not him.
I say that life as a man is exceptionally difficult.
She's not wrong though. I do think that Andrew Tate is like a substitute for God, really. You can find purpose through God and religion. I think Andrew Tate is just their prophet.
Say the most beautiful and the most terrifying thing about being a man is you're born without value. Society doesn't care about you.
The absolute audacity to act shocked that Andrew Tate is scooping these guys up after a decade of—
I actually don't even really know what Andrew Tate believes in. I'm not gonna lie, I don't watch Andrew Tate. I probably should actually, just so I can like be more informed on it. I don't know very much about like what Andrew Tate is all about. Don't? I see. Prophet or cult leader, I mean, it's the same thing, right? A cult leader is just a prophet of like whatever their cult religion is. He believes in making money. Fuck bitches, make money. I mean, honestly, that is the game. That is the current game, is it not? I'm not, okay, guys, are we hating the player or are we hating the game here? Because I feel like if Andrew Tate is telling people, yeah, if you want to be happy, fuck bitches and make money. I mean, is he wrong? Is he wrong with like how we've created? I'm not saying it's a good thing. Tazuto, calm down. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I don't agree with this. I do not agree with this. But I'm saying though, with the reason I don't agree with it is because I think I don't think the game is good. I think it's a bad game that we're playing culturally. Okay? But what I'm saying is under the rules of the game that we have right now and like how society is structured, what he's saying is a way to win the game. Am I wrong? I'm not saying it's a good thing. I think this is a bad thing. DMs. Okay, why am I DMing? What? Okay. So here, again, I don't know anything about Andrew Tate, so I'm reading this thing now. He allegedly Romania. Wait, really? Is that real? Wait, I can't read this? What? Just take it out of the video. Wait, what? What do you mean you knew this would happen? Wait, am I not? Oh, do not say it on stream. I see. Well, you know, you should put that at the beginning. You know, if you're going to tell me not to read something on stream, you should put it at the very beginning. You put it at the end. So he posted me a paragraph, and then at the very end, it says, do not read this on stream. You should put it at the beginning. Allegedly. I mean, I'm not lying, am I, Julio? I'm not lying. He put it at the end. Wait, nice knowing me. What, am I in trouble? Wait, actually? I guess trolling?
It once you're rich, then there are several attractive women who are going to be attracted to the money. Know you, but you don't care.
You're right. It's you're rich, then there are several attractive women who are going to be attracted to the money, but not you, and you don't care. Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. That's why I think that the game itself is bad, right? Is this real, Patchouli? Dude, Patchouli just sent me like the funniest fucking screenshot. Non-binary. Why are you as a man drinking lemonade? Fuck it, I'm non-binary now. This shit is getting crazy. Non-binary lemonade lover. Holy shit, that's so funny. That's some shit. That's funny. Okay, well, you see, I didn't know that. I didn't know that about him allegedly. This allegedly being the case. But is that the message that... Okay, hold on. Can we separate... Guys, can we separate this real quick? Is that the message that he's saying? Let's be real. Is that the message that he's saying? Is he telling people to do that? Whatever that bad thing is that Crazy's telling me? Is he telling people to do that? Or is he telling people like basic shit about like get money and get jacked and then get lots of women? He has courses. Wait, really? Wait, he does? Wait, are you serious? Are you actually serious? He has a fucking school? He has a school of pimping? Is that real? Ooh. Ooh. Okay, guys, hear me out, though. Hear me out. Hear me out, okay? In the context of the game, and the way it's set up. Crazy says, stop digging this hole, damn it. Am I digging a hole, though, or am I noticing? Am I digging a hole, or am I noticing? All I'm saying is I think that's probably why people listen to him, because if the observation, right, like if the game is get a bunch of women, never marry them, get a bunch of like hot women, get the hottest women, and then just, you know, you have tons of money so you can give them whatever they want, and then you can fuck them and then have like everything, have like a big house, be like super successful, have other guys be like, wow, that guy's so cool, and then you can have all of that because of money, and like that's like your idea of success. And that's like society's, because let's be real, guys. Let's be real here. Is the idea of success in society? I'm not talking about like us, and I'm not talking about us. I'm not talking about like, you know, people that live in the countryside. I'm saying popular culture, right? The mainstream popular culture that you see. That's not really based on having a family, is it? Am I wrong? I feel like people don't see, oh, you have a family and you have like 6 kids, like that's happiness. People like see that as like, wow, you're a fucking slave, bro. Like wow, way to have no fun. You know what I mean? Like wow, like you know now you had some kids, like you're not doing anything now. Now your whole life is those kids, like you're not enjoying life anymore. I feel like people see it as that. So like that's kind of what I'm talking about. That's the cultural thing I'm talking about. Is that's like the cultural game, right? That's the game of life in terms of popular culture. So that's why, do you see what I mean? Like, it's easy to understand like why people would look up to him. If like the popular culture game is set up that way, he wins the game, and he says like what you need to do to like win at the game, and then people follow it, right? Again, I don't think that's not the game I want to play, but that's like the popular game, right? That's the internet game. That's the influencer game. That's the, like, think about all the guys that you think about are like successful according to like the media, right? It's like a guy that, you know, the alpha what do you call it, the alpha male that has like tons of money and has like all the girls want him, right?
Lol, male tears.
And then don't get married because she might divorce you and take 50% of it. Right? Where's the lie? Where's the lie? I'm not lying. Don't hate me. Don't hate me because I'm telling the truth. That's all I'm saying.
Insane. Andrew Tate isn't the solution to men's problems, but he is talking to them. The fact is, you did not care about them for years, and even now you just want to recruit them, not help them. And that's why you will fail. And hey, maybe I'll be the Andrew Tate of the left.
Whoa. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you shouldn't get married. I'm saying you should consider the game that you want to play in life. If the game you want to play in life is the pop culture mainstream, you know, you're not successful until you're like a big influencer. That's the game you want to play. But if the game you want to play is to have a, you know, live a fulfilling life where you feel like you did your best, you always lived by no regrets, you did everything like honorably, and you have like 5 kids at your deathbed all crying because you're on your way out and they fucking love you, and you have like, you know, 10 grandchildren. I mean, you know, think about what game you want to play.
Listen up. Wash your penis. So I guess I'll leave you guys with a question.
True.
Why do you think male loneliness has been increasing? What are your solutions to this problem? And are you dealing with loneliness? And I will see you guys next time with a new video.
Okay, guys, that took us like so long to watch. That was a 20-minute video. We probably watched it for 90 minutes. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. That was a really good video. I like her videos a lot. I want to watch more of them.